I would say it's so incredibly important to understand that you are the steward of your life. And I think we don't realize how much power we have over our lives. A lot of our lives, obviously, there's a lot that happens that we have zero control of it. But a lot of life is perspective and how we react to things. And I think once we realize that power, it could make us like invincible in certain ways.
Welcome to the Refined Brew Collective. I'm your host, Ashley. This is a safe space for real conversations, thoughtful reflection, and intentional growth. So grab your coffee and let's sip, reflect, and rise together.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the premiere episode of the Refined Brew Collective. I'm your host, Ashley, and today I'm joined by our first ever guest, Aubrey Paredes. Such an honor, can I just say, to be your first ever guest. But what you're doing is incredible. You're an incredible person. You're so down to earth. You're very intentional. So I'm just honored to be here. So thank you for inviting me to be your first guest. I'm excited. Thank you. You're going to be crying. Okay, so thank you for joining us today, Aubrey. So, short bio on Aubrey. Aubrey is an established mechanical engineer, project manager, certified green belt of Lean Six Sigma, and respected Army veteran. She currently works as a lead project manager of Engineer Solutions, and she's also an entrepreneur with a history of academic excellence, including being on the Dean's List and earning the Army Achievement Medal. Here at the Refined Brew Collective, we like to give our guests their flowers while they are alive and thriving. So can everyone join me in giving Aubrey her flowers? Okay. So we're going to start with some icebreakers. Perfect. How was your holiday season? Girl. It was good. I learned a really big lesson. I know we're gonna get into it in the episode, but
Okay.
not buying a property, not closing in December ever again. It's just too much.
Yeah.
But my holiday season was great, but I had a lot in the back of my mind. So I couldn't enjoy it like I wanted it to. But that's all goes to say, I'm just blessed and I just thank God that I'm able to be in this position. So overall, it was great. I went to my cousin's house in DC. We spent a lot of time with family, but my grandfather did pass away on December 22nd. So it definitely looked different this year due to that as well. But, we were all united and all with family. So that's, yeah, it's a blessing. So,
Amen. And I'm again sorry for your loss. My sincere condolences.
appreciate it. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, so my second question is, what is your favorite morning drink? Is it coffee, matcha, tea, water, or hot chocolate?
Question. Lately I've really been liking rasa, which is like
Really?
mushroom coffee.
Never heard of this.
Really? Yeah, it's like a
Yeah.
trend thing. Um,
Okay.
a friend recommended it to me, and I actually like it so much. There's a lot of different brands out there, but Rasa has been my favorite by far. Put some oat
Okay.
milk in there, and it's amazing. Nice and sweet and creamy. It's beautiful.
Okay. Where can I buy this if I wanted to try it?
Amazon or on their website too.
Okay.
Disclaimer, it is a little pricey, but
Okay.
I think it's worth it. It's like the mushroom alternative, so it still gives you energy. It's no caffeine. You can get one with caffeine, but I get the
Mm-hmm.
no caffeine one. But I feel I just focus better. My brain fog kind of goes away. I think more clearly, and it really helps. So I like it.
All right. Good to know. I will make a mental note of that for later.
Hey, and what's your morning drink?
It's
Ooh.
always coffee. If I do drink something else,
Mhm.
it would be tea, but I don't add anything to the tea. I just drink it raw.
Oh, no
I
sugar,
don't even know if that's
sweetener,
the word.
anything.
Yeah, like my
Wow.
mom, like I don't know what it is. I think from my mom always told me from like a young age, like if you want the most effect
out of like what you're
Mhm.
drinking to drink it raw, like in the sense of like, yeah, like nothing in there. So I would do that with coffee around finals time. I would just drink it black with nothing.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
nasty, but I'm telling you, it works.
God,
So
I forgot. Yo, college black coffee was my go-to. Yes, it's the only thing.
yeah. Did you add
So,
sugar or did you just drink it as
no,
is?
just drank it as is. You had to.
Yeah, you see? I guess that's the
Yeah.
Caribbean thing. That's what it is.
Oh, maybe it
So
is.
yeah, so but in general, like if I have coffee, I like to have it. I'll go to Dunkin' Donuts, and I'll get like a caramel latte, like something along the lines of that with a little caramel in
Mm,
there. But
yeah.
if I'm at home, I'll break out the Cafe Bustelo, the instant, put a little carnation milk in there. Mm-hmm. Like I used to do back in the day. So it's either or.
It was
Okay.
Stella, so I'm here for it.
Listen, I can have that all day. I feel like that's the best tasting coffee compared to like the other instant coffees
And it's so
out there.
strong too. I feel like it's so pure.
Yeah. 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 I agree. I agree. Okay.
Mm,
So let's start at the beginning, shall we?
let's
For
do it.
anyone that's unfamiliar, mechanical engineering is often described as applying principles like motion, energy, and force to design real world solutions. So, when did you decide to pursue a degree in mechanical engineering?
All right, so I actually majored in industrial engineering, but they're very similar. So in my school, like industrial and mechanical were very much integrated. So I had to take a lot of mechanical engineering classes. So that's why I was able to work as a mech E when I graduated.
Hmm.
Um, but I really decided, growing up, I was always really good at math and science, and specifically calculus, which is, yeah.
Yeah.
I like to be challenged. I like the logic based thinking. I
Hmm.
found it interesting. I felt stimulated, and I decided to pursue a degree in engineering because of that. And it was one of the best decisions I've ever made. So I love what I do. I love my field, and yeah, it's definitely for me. So.
Love that. So, my question to you is which calculus did you prefer more, Calc 1 or Calc 2?
It's the worst thing in the world. That's why I make that.
Okay, I thought I was the only one because I was like, oh my God, what is this? I went into Calc 1 and I was like, this was a breeze. I love it. Let me go to the next one. And all of a sudden I was like, what did I get myself into?
Yeah,
So
no. Calc 2 is no joke. Definitely Calc
yeah.
1. The only reason Calc 1 can be a little bit more challenging is because you're still getting like, at least for me, I was still
Hmm.
transitioning to college work, and which is
Hmm.
very different from high school work. But
Hmm.
otherwise, Calc 1 by a long shot. Way easier
Okay.
than Calc 2.
Okay. Well, good to know. I'm amazed.
Yeah.
Okay. So which courses do you feel really prepared you the most? Math, physics, or others? And was there ever a moment during that time when you questioned whether this path was right for you?
Yes. So let me answer your first question. Definitely calculus helps a lot with logic-based thinking, right? And then but statics, I don't know if you took statics. I think statics, it's like I say it's like physics on steroids, but it really
Really?
prepares you to like that engineering mindset. It's like the principles. It's like a two-part. So you have statics and you have mechanics of materials, which is like statics part 2. But
Okay.
I would say those two. I would say Calc 1 because it's like the basics of calculus.
Hmm.
Um and there's a lot of trig in there as well, so calc 1 and statics.
Okay.
And to answer your last question, all the time did I think, there were so many times where I was like, this is not for me. Because I did like ROTC in college too, so I would be like, if I'm up at like 05 because I have formation at 05:30,
Hmm.
and then I have like calculus at 8 a.m. almost every day, I'm like, maybe this is not for me. It was one of the hardest things I've ever done. And I remember actually there was one time when I went into my academic advisor's office, who was also my professor, and I was almost in tears. I literally was telling him, I was like, I'm gonna change my major. And then he didn't even take me serious. He looked at me and he's like, Like, no, why would you do that? Like, no, here, this is what you can do, blah, blah, blah. Like, you're not even doing that bad. Like, you're fine. Like, get out of your own head. He didn't even take me serious. And I walked out of there like, what just happened? But I
Yeah.
never, after that, I was, it was like I was done. Like, he believed in me when I stopped believing in me. And I'm like, you know what? There's something there. So I kind of like let that go. I stopped letting my intrusive thoughts kind of like get the best of me. And I'm just like, okay, let me just focus and do what I gotta do. So
I'm really glad you did because look at where you're at now. I'm so
yes,
proud of you.
thank you.
Okay, so what are some self-taught courses that you've learned in your free time that you felt were necessary to have as you progressed along your career path?
Self-taught courses, personal finance, 100%. I think that has definitely it's not something that's taught a lot,
Mhm.
in school, but, learning I started investing in the stock market when I was in college, like, just learning stuff like that. Personal finance really helped me catapult me where I'm at today.
Okay. What would you say are some self-taught courses in relation to what you're focused on right now, which is mechanical engineering?
So, I would say for that, self-taught courses, um, say so in my curriculum, I guess so in my job, it's a lot of Excel heavy. And
Okay.
in my curriculum at school, unfortunately, we didn't do a lot of like we didn't really deep dive into Excel, if that makes sense. So me doing like Excel courses on my own time really helped me doing
Mhm.
more advanced stuff, like pivot tables and advanced stuff like that. That really
Mhm.
helped me because you may not learn it, maybe in other schools, but in mine, it wasn't really taught. So, and that's like one of the tools I use like all the time, right?
Yeah.
That and like Microsoft Project, that as well. So,
Okay, that's good. I would second that as well. I feel like that's not something that was heavily implemented like a few years ago. I'm not gonna say back in the day. You know what I'm saying? I'll say a few years ago.
it wasn't that long ago. It was not that long ago.
Yeah, exactly. A few years ago. But I feel like now when I speak to more students, that's something that is like a requirement to take like a more advanced Excel class. So I'm happy
Good.
to hear that,
Yeah,
that
because
they're actually offering it now, at least in some schools.
yeah, because we that's something, like, you use all the time in a lot of
Hmm.
corporate jobs, so that is good.
Agree. Okay. So do you feel the pressure of having to keep up to date with relevant skills in your field?
Yes, especially all this AI talk, 100%. I'm like it's like every day is something new with AI, so you definitely feel the pressure, um, and it can be difficult, it can be overwhelming because 'cause you're like, "What exactly do I need to focus on? What do I need to do this? Do I need to do that? Like, am I doing it right? Is this" So, it's a lot, but I like that we're all kinda in the same chaos, if that makes sense. I feel like we're all
Hmm.
kind of yeah, so that helps me feel a little better, like, we're all in this together, basically, we're all figuring it out. It's still relatively new, so
Okay. That's good. So I wanted to ask you a follow-up question because I believe you mentioned it before. You said you focused on industrial engineering. There wasn't a specialization in regards to that, right? It's just industrial engineering and it was
yes.
integrated within mechanical engineering?
Yeah, so my major is industrial engineering, we just took a lot of Mech E classes. So
Okay.
after I graduated, I started working as a mechanical engineer.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
Understood. Okay. So could you describe a project or task that a prospective mechanical engineering grad could look forward to working on?
Yeah, so I worked for the Department of Defense, specifically NAVAIR, which is Naval Air Systems Command. So I worked F-18 fighter jet support equipment. So I did a lot of common support equipment or like weapon systems. So I focused on hardware design, a task that I guess a prospective McE can look forward to. So I worked in defense and aerospace, and I was in engineering and hardware design. So a lot of the things that I did, I used AutoCAD a lot to
Mhm.
design a lot of the weapon systems that we worked on or support equipment. And then since we were essentially the client, right? So we worked with the OEM, the original equipment manufacturer,
Mhm.
which okay, I was gonna say the names of the companies, but let me not. um, so we kind of told them our specs. and we told them what we wanted, and then we would kind of oversee their engineers to ensure that they were within our specs, right?
Okay.
So I enjoyed hardware design. It's not for everybody, but if you like AutoCAD and you're a visual person, kind of like me, I think you would definitely enjoy that.
Okay. It sounds very cool.
Yeah.
So, what advice would you give to students who are considering pursuing a degree in either industrial engineering or mechanical engineering?
Say, don't give up. I will say it's normal to feel like you want to quit. It's normal to feel like you don't belong, and it's normal to feel like this is impossible. Um, but don't give up. Like if it's something that you genuinely want, stick with it. You don't have to be the next out like Einstein, right? You don't have to be this crazy genius person, but you just have to want it and just want it enough to where you're willing to put in that effort, and you'll be fine.
Excellent advice.
Thank you.
So, beyond engineering, another major part of your journey has been your service in the military. What made you want to join the military?
Yeah, so I had a lot of influence. So my dad was also in the military. I was kind of like half a military brat.
Hmm.
I say half because he joined when I was like older in life. I was like 12, 13.
Hmm.
But there's some military brats who are like born into that life, right? But I had a lot of influence from my dad, so I was already familiar with it. So I was comfortable with that lifestyle. And also they have amazing benefits where they help you pay for school. And, at that age, like I've always been big into finance, and I was like, I looked at the college costs, and I was like, wait, like I don't want to put that burden on myself, and I don't want to put that burden on my parents either.
Hmm.
So I looked into the Army National Guard, and they paid for school. So I was like, this is a win-win, right? So
That's beautiful. So, would you say that the military shaped your career? Okay.
I've said before, I feel like the military saved my life, and like not like a crazy way, but like it just built so much. It gave me so much perspective. It forced me to mature at a young age, gave me so much structure. I saw the world differently. It definitely, and for the good, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, it had a huge part of who I am today, and forever grateful for that. So
What's one lesson from the military that still shows up in how you live or lead today?
say one lesson is that I really like, it's like they really harp on integrity, leading with integrity, living a life of integrity. Um, and I think that's so important. When you live with integrity, you're transparent, you're genuine, you're true to yourself, you're value driven, you're so at peace, if that makes sense. Like
Hmm.
I go to sleep like a baby at night because like
Yeah.
like I know I know I put my best intentions out there. I hold myself
Hmm.
accountable, I and yeah, transparent and being humble, and because with integrity it kind of it flows into all of that, right? Into
Yeah.
humility and just being a genuine person. So I think that's really important.
Yeah. I agree with that. Like, you can just focus on what's there and just continue living your life.
Yeah, and it helps you
So,
to be such a good human being too, so
yes. Yes. I agree.
that's
I
important.
agree. Very important these days. So, what advice would you give to someone who's considering joining the military?
Do your research, and if you could speak to someone who's already in it, that would be amazing. It's not for everyone. That's why I say that. And a lot of people, I know they join kind of like me, school benefits and everything like that, but they're completely miserable. And sometimes the trade-off is not worth it, right? It's still a huge opportunity cost. I was in the Army National Guard, but I can't tell you how many birthdays I've missed, how many outings, love spending time with my family and friends. I have a very small circle, so the people that are in my circle mean a lot to me.
Mhm.
Even like a couple years ago, missing one of my very close friends' birthdays, it's just you miss a lot. But so I would say that, yeah, just do your research and make sure that it's not something you'll be completely miserable with, because otherwise it won't be as worth it.
Did you feel like your father were you able to lean on him for advice before you joined the military? Did you kind of have to get that understanding on your own and then well through that experience?
No, I leaned on my father a lot. He was active duty. I was Army National Guard, so it was a
Okay.
little different. He was full time. I was part time. But no,
Mm-hmm.
I leaned on him a lot. And my dad has always been my biggest supporter, which has helped me so much in life. Um, but yeah, I got a lot from him, and then I also spoke a lot to a lot of other people doing it as well. Because my dad wasn't an officer. Because I did ROTC and I commissioned as an officer, so it's a little different
Mm-hmm.
in terms, your duties and responsibilities, the stuff you do, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I made sure to talk to people that were in the position that I was going to be in or I wanted to be in, and
Okay.
that helps a lot as well.
You are intentional. And we
Yeah.
like to be intentional here. I love that. Okay.
Very important.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I want to briefly talk about your other business ventures, particularly Prim Capital. At some point, you expanded beyond engineering into entrepreneurship through Prim Capital. What sparked that transition and what is the purpose behind it?
Yes, so amazing question. What sparked that transition is when I graduated from college, right? And I had my big girl engineering job, and I was like, was so happy. I was like, finally, these 4 years I struggled. Um, so when I graduated, I was looking at rent prices to come back to the area, right, to New Jersey.
Mhm,
Because
mhm,
I wanted to be close to family. I'm not from Jersey, but my family was here, and I want to be close to them. So
mhm,
I was looking at prices, housing costs, and I was like, this is more than half my paycheck. Like, I would literally be saving like close to $0. You know? I'm like, wait, this is not the lifestyle I envisioned. Like, I did not just struggle 4 years to struggle the rest of my life or not live the
mhm,
life I've envisioned, right? So I was like, no, I literally went on Google and I was like I searched how to not pay rent, right? And then
mhm,
I came across house hacking, which is when you buy a multifamily property or multifamily house, you live in one unit and you rent out the others, right? So I came
mhm,
across that, and then that led me to biggerpockets.com, which is like this real estate investing thread forum for real estate investors. It's amazing.
mhm,
And once I came across that, like I was hooked. Like I was on there till like 2 in the morning almost every night. I was reading the books they recommended, and the rest is history. I was like, this is the life I envisioned. This is what I imagined for myself, and this is what I'm gonna pursue. So
That is beautiful. I'm very happy that you found something that you're interested in and that's led you to where you are and that you're content in where you are now.
yeah.
You are very welcome. Okay. So you've shared so much about your journey from engineering to service to entrepreneurship. And I think what really stands out is how intentional each chapter has been for you. I wanted to take a moment now to zoom out and talk about the bigger picture with some additional questions. What advice would you provide for a current and recent grad regarding the job market today?
Oh my god. Let me say I'm sorry. No, because I was recently also I left my previous job and I transitioned to a new job. So I
Okay.
know how bad this job market is.
Mm-hmm.
And all I saw on LinkedIn was saying how this is the worst job market people that have been working for 20 years I've ever seen. And I'm like, well, this is
Listen.
encouraging. I'm like, this is helpful.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I would say, so in my job search, I was able to have, I think I told you I had 2 offers lined up, which is like a blessing, especially in this market.
Mm-hmm.
I would say I just I treated the job search like a 9 to 5. I I even got office space, right? I got that membership. I went into the office and I treated it like my job. And I think that helps a lot. Um and also increase your skill sets. Like I went and got my PMP during that time. I think that helped a lot. So research in the field you're in, certifications that really really provide value, right? And that's what I did. That's one of the first things I did. I was like, let me get this PMP and then apply to jobs. And then it it helped. It definitely helped a lot. And then use ChatGPT for a lot of to map out your day. Like nowadays with ChatGPT, we don't even have to do so much when it comes to organization and planning. I put my little prompt in there. She had the whole schedule. I printed out the schedule, and
Yeah.
then I would go through the day and I would cross out whenever I would do a certain hour. And
Mhm.
look at that. So she got me through. We both.
I love you from ChatGPT, so I support you 100% on that.
Yes, and ChatGPT could be your cheerleader too. When you're
Yeah, for
down,
sure.
man, yes, she is the best pep talker.
She really is. Okay, so what is something that keeps you motivated to continue pursuing your career path?
To say, what really keeps me motivated, I would say my gratitude. Especially with my parents. Like we immigrated here. I came to this country when I was 7 years old. I watched my parents leave absolutely everything they had and start over. My dad had a good um like networking engineering job in the Dominican Republic. He came here. I saw him leave all that and be a factory worker, work in a factory,
Mhm.
which is not necessarily anything wrong with that, but coming from where he was, um, so I think that's what keeps me going. Just seeing the sacrifices that my parents made, and just being raised in that environment that my parents raised us in, just made me be so grateful, and that gratitude and wanting to repay them back and being just so grateful for everything they've done really drives me a lot.
Okay.
And
Can I just say that I don't understand how, like, it's so difficult for immigrants to get whatever knowledge and experience accepted, like, in a different country, like, say, for example, in the United States, and, like, be able to actually apply for jobs here. I think that's frustrating sometimes, when you hear stories like
I
that. But
agree.
I admire, like, the perseverance and, like, how they raised you and where you are now, and the gratitude that you show for them, because that's literally all they want. They wanna see us succeed and
Yeah.
just be happy, and, like, if we could give them an ounce back to what they've sacrificed for us, then that's all we can do.
Right.
Kudos to you.
Thank
Okay.
you. Thank you.
Um, okay, so if listeners can take away one thing from your story today, what would you want it to be?
Say, okay. One of the things that really keeps me going is like knowing I like to read a lot, right?
Mhm.
And there's very few things in this world that nobody can take away from you. And that's knowledge, your drive, that fire you feel inside, that passion, intensity when you like something. Like no one can take that away from you. So I would say it's so incredibly important to understand that you are the steward of your life. And I think we don't realize how much power we have over our lives, right? Um, a lot of our lives, obviously, there's a lot that happens that we have zero control of it. But a lot of life is perspective and how we react to things. And I think once we realize that power, um, it could make us like invincible in certain ways, right? So I feel like, I don't know, I have this drive inside of me. Like, a lot of times people give me advice. A lot of times people put their limitations onto you, especially I'm doing a lot of, or I'm trying to do things that people like me don't usually do, right?
Mhm.
So, being engineering, there was a lot of times where I was the only female in the class. And being in the army, there's a lot of times where I was the only female in the class as well. So I would say, yeah, that like don't let anybody take that power from you. We are way more powerful than we think we are. That passion, that intensity that we have inside of us, no one can take that away from us. That knowledge, no one can take that away from you. So
Mhm.
realize that power and leverage that. That's what I will say.
Amen. Okay.
Thank you.
So before we wrap up, we end every episode here with this question at the Refined Brew Collective. What does living a refined life mean to you right now?
Say it's really enjoying all of the things that I have worked so hard to get. Um and this lifestyle that I have cultivated for myself. Like
Mhm.
I have been aside from all the amazing things, with gratitude, my parents, like I've also been able to do some fancy things. I fly first class now, which I've always wanted
Yeah.
to do.
Yeah. As you should.
Right? So stuff like
Mhm.
doing that, I really have to like take a moment and just like, oh my God, let me enjoy this moment. I'm really here. I'm really living this life. I have multiple streams of income. I get passive income. I'm in real estate, building my company. It's hard, but it's good to just slow down and really enjoy everything you work so hard for.
I agree. Thank you for sharing that, Aubrey. And thank you, Aubrey, for joining me on our first episode of the Refined Brew Collective. See you all in the next episode.
Thank you for sharing this moment with me on the Refined Brew Collective. If today's conversation poured into you, take a moment to reflect and pass it along to someone who needs it. Until next time, sip slowly, reflect deeply, and rise intentionally.